All right, we are raising money, if you're not aware, to support the United Way's Keep Me Warm Fund, which helps Mainers in need connect with resources to, quite frankly, keep warm in the wintertime.
Yes, we have a phone number online and a link on where you can donate if you're not a phone call person. But the Keep Me Warm Fund helps a lot of Mainers in need connect with resources to help heat their homes. We have with us the CEO and president of United Way of Southern Maine, Dan Coyne. Thanks so much for coming in, Dan.
Thanks. Great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, for those unfamiliar with the Keep Me Warm Fund, tell us a little about how it works.
It is, yes, it is the only statewide heating assistance and support fund to help the almost 40% of Maine households that we know struggle paycheck to paycheck. People struggle right now with rent, utilities, food, childcare, making impossible choices to fill a prescription drug, for example. And this incredible lifeline, and thanks to Project Heat, helps raise funds so people have to make those choices a little bit easier. The funds end up supporting families who are struggling with the equivalent of 100 gallons of heating oil or whatever the fuel equivalent would be for them in their case. And to get connected to resources, they should call 211. And we know the need, though, is immediate and greater than it has ever been. We have seen almost a 7% increase in calls to 211 this year already asking for help.
Numbers are always helpful in understanding the scope and the size of a need. You mentioned some initially, but how many numbers of people are we looking at that are seeking assistance that need this help?
More, it's almost mind-boggling. I can't put an exact number, but I will say that we are never able to meet the full need of folks who actually end up calling. Many people who may qualify for LIHEAP or general assistance, some form of program that doesn't provide enough assistance on its own, when those run out, or people who make more than enough to qualify for either of those, this is where Keep Me Warm comes in to be able to help families. Last year through Project Heat, we were able to help almost 725 households. We're only limited by how much we're able to raise. And so the more that we give, every small amount matters. I can think about the calls I've taken over the years where someone says, I can feel it in my bones what it was like to be cold 40 years ago. Could I even give $25? Does that matter? Yes,
absolutely.
It does, because we're able to leverage that. And the more that we raise, we know that we won't be able to meet the need. It is that immense.
That's what I was going to ask you. Brian and I, we've done this telethon every year. Brian and I have answered the calls. You've answered the calls. What is it like to you to be a part of this day and to feel the Mainers giving back?
I'd say it's probably one of the top days that I have every year. I look forward to it because Maine is an incredibly generous community. And I think about when I talk to others around the country or in other countries, Maine is a special place. We come together to help people in need, to figure out what it is, because some people, through no fault of their own, fall in really hard times. And every little bit helps.
I think we have the time, but I do want to ask you one other question. And I was looking through some of the comments on Facebook about today's campaign, and a comment jumped out to me of someone saying, I work a full-time job, I pay my mortgage, am I getting help? And how do we share the message to people who are fortunate enough to be able to do that you're in a position to help, and that's a unique place to be?
Well, you had told me a staggering statistic about how many Mainers are struggling.
Yeah, 4 in 10 Maine households struggle with the basics. This isn't talking about the federal poverty line, which we know is an insufficient number. This is folks who are working one or more jobs who can't afford rent, childcare, food on the table, a car repair that's necessary to get them to work. And so if you're able, every little bit of a little amount matters, because we do know that roughly 1 in 2 of us are struggling.
Tremendous number. And good to keep in mind, if you're able, if you're in a position to do it, the opportunity is there today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us for a little insight on the work that you're doing, and thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you both, likewise.
Of course, you can continue to donate throughout the day today. You can find that information on our website or donate anytime. We'll have the number up once in a while. It is 855-875-4328.
Those phone lines are open all day. Time for us to take a quick break.